Hey there, guys. So earlier I showed you how to OTK this boss with Aya Brea, and already I've gotten some questions, show how to use that in a rank 1 strategy. So I'll do that pretty soon, probably this evening. I'll show you how to get a very easy rank 1 using the Aya Brea cheese, because that basically skips the entirety of Phase 2. But for those of you that don't have Aya Brea, we're going to go back for an alternate clear that doesn't use Aya Brea, also doesn't use Richt or Elena, etc. So we're going to use Chow's leader skill with a party of mages. Now we're still going to go with the water element because overall the water element is pretty strong here, etc. And I'm not going to go over the mechanics that much. I kind of talked about them in the first rank 1 video, so you can watch that if you want like a breakdown of what's happening turn by turn. For this one, we're just going to get a clear in. So Chow on turn 1 will go ahead and use all the imbues for morale and then bar Waterja. We're going to use Ibarra to wish and then just double bolting. We're going to use Nora to do living for the morale, beast killer, and then double bolting. Kaito will start in the base, go to the shift, where we're going to do field. Crashing to dispel the boss, and deep. Abigail will do Shelga. Omnicover and contingency, and Melissa will do shared, chronic, and parasol. Now keep in mind, this first turn we don't have the spirit mitigation from Elena's racial cooldown. So we're going to take a lot of damage on the party. As long as you've got either guts or some decent bulk, you'll be okay. So turn 1, very painful. Most of the party is going to guts it. Not a problem. Turn 1 is the only time you're going to take that kind of damage. We're going to have Abigail's SLB on future burst. Okay, so now we're going to use Chow to Leviathan Field. We're going to use Nora to just quad bolting. We're going to use Ibarra to just triple bolting. This is just to pass the time, basically. Kaito triple bolting. Not a whole lot going on right now. Abigail can cover. And then do both the breaks. And then Melissa can do... Whoops. Melissa can do minutes. And just some killers for the morale gain. Now we are imbued with light element and water element from earlier. So we're sealing the boss with that. So yeah, you gotta hit the boss with light and water anytime the boss does his emotes, like watch the top of the screen, channeling darkness, we gotta use light on him. And if you don't use light on him, he will basically destroy your team. So this turn, we're gonna use Nora to SLB for the mod buff. We're gonna use Abigail to SLB for the mitigation. Now before we use Chow, we're gonna use Kaito to put the field up again. We're going to then natural and deadly. And Kaito is still imbued with light element. So there we go. We have sealed the boss. Now we're going to use Chow to get rid of those bad imbues with encouraging waves. Then we're going to do in Waterga. And then we're going to do Ocean and Fluffy. Ibarra can do the base form LB. And as the last action, Melissa will use her SLB on Chow, which will reduce his cooldowns. So there we go. We use Chow to remove those dark and light imbues, so now we're only imbued with water. Okay, so some attacks. We did seal the boss here, so we're good. There we go. No big damage. So turn 4, we're going to get ready for bursting next turn. So Kaito to the base form, where we're going to Downpour. Downpour, use his Magnus, and then just hit the boss. Nora can do, let's see here, triple bolting, and then her Magnus. Let's see here, Chow can do arcane supplementation. We're going to do beast killer on Kaito. We're going to do shine to seal the boss, very important, deal light damage, and then his 150 Magnus. Ibarra can do shift form. We're going to do double bolting and the focus bolting. We're going to use Abigail to cover, and do the breaks again. And Melissa is going to do shared. We're going to Beast Killer on Chow for a bigger Beast Killer, and then just bar Darkja. And we can go ahead and chain up Nora and Ibarra for some damage. This should deal a decent chunk of damage. 12%, not bad at all. Okay. So, some attacks right here. And again, this is the attack that bypasses cover. It's going to deal some damage, as you see. Once you've got Abigail's mitigation online, the party is completely fine. It's only really dangerous on turn 1 and turn 2 until her SOB is good to go. And now it's time for the damage cap. So Kaito is going to shift and do the shifted LB. We're going to LB Nora. We're going to shifted LB Ibarra. We're going to SLB Chow. Now, in order to seal the boss, we're going to use Abigail to double Absolute Mirror. Do not use her Bolting Strike. If you hit the boss with fire, you're going to die, basically. Don't use fire. But Bolting Strike is light element that'll seal the... I'm sorry. Absolute Mirror is light element that will seal the boss. We're going to do that twice, and then bar Faraja. Now, that's going to also give us the chain count score. Now, preferably, we would like to not push below 50 and only push the boss to 51 or higher. If we do go over 50, it's okay, we'll adapt. But we're hoping to stop around 52%. Unfortunate. Okay, I'll show you the worst case scenario. Not a problem. So Melissa will go ahead and triple bar Darkja to fill the LB gauge after we did our bursting. And that is really unfortunate that we pushed the threshold there, but it's okay. It's totally okay. We'll just use the, we'll change the actions. So this is the important thing on the turn chart. If you push the threshold that turn, we are now going to have Kaito get rid of the boss's buffs. So we're going to use Unpredictable, then we're going to do Natural and Deadly. That will get rid of the boss's buffs for you, and we're good to continue dealing damage. If you didn't push the threshold, you would use Crashing Waves instead and Unpredictable next turn. Keep that in mind. I'll mark that on the turn chart so it's more obvious. Nora's going to SLB here. Chow will LB, and we're going to base form LB Ibarra. We're also going to SLB our Abigail. And then Melissa, if you needed more LB gauge, you could use bar Darkja. We're going to do shared. We're going to do Beast Killer on Chow again. And we're going to do just bar Darkja just in case you needed more killers or whatever. And this will also push the threshold the rest of the way. If you had pushed the boss to, like, let's say 52% or something, that would push the rest of the threshold right there. So yeah, you're always going to threshold by turn 6. But yeah, the actions we use don't really change a whole lot regardless of what happens. Because we're using the Savior's chest plate, the healing is like for free basically. Also, we're going to heal with Melissa. Anyway, so this turn, we need to use our cooldowns on Chow. So, let's see here. Let's do in Wartiga. We're going to do Ocean. We're going to do Fluffy. And we're going to Shine to seal the boss. After we do that, we are going to SLB on Chow with Melissa to get those cooldowns again. Let's see, Kaito will right here. We're going to Downpour. We're going to Field. And if you needed to, you would Unpredictable, but because we don't need to, we'll just Crashing Waves instead. Nora can do triple bolting. And Beast Killer as the last action because we're going to use Ibarra to triple bolting with her for damage. And let's see, Abigail is going to cover and do some breaks. So wait for all this to finish. I want to do my attack and magic buff. And go ahead and chain this up. A little bit of damage here. Okay. Of course, the real damage will be coming in a moment. And here we go. Some attacks right here. Alright, so we got to deal light damage on the boss this turn. Let's see here. So, let's see, my turn chart. Ibarra will that. We will LBU. We're going to LBU. We're going to LBU. Let's see. If you needed more LB gauge, we could use Bar for Raja, but we have to use Absolute Mirror of Equity to seal the boss. So one-time Absolute. We could use Bar for Raja if we needed it, but we kind of don't. So we'll just use Contingency, and we use 1 Bar for Raja. We're going to do it after our damage, though. So let's go ahead and do this, and let's see. We're going to use Melissa to Parasol. We're going to do Minutes of Might, and we're going to do Beast Killer on Chow. Okay, deal a little bit of damage right here, and we're going to wait on Abigail. Now we're going to use Abigail to deal light damage to seal the boss. And if we're using Elena instead of Abigail, just make sure Elena's imbuing herself with light element to seal the boss. We got to seal the boss, otherwise bad things happen. Okay, some attacks right there, pretty painful. We did Guts on Abigail, but Guts is fine. As long as you have Guts, it doesn't really matter. And there's the Crashing Wave to get rid of the boss's buffs right there. Let's see, turn 9. Let's see, Abigail can SLB this turn. Look at my turn chart. We can do this. We're going to do double Bar Darkja right here. And we're going to Seconds of Support on Chow. If you need more Bar Darkja, you could. Looks like we need 1 more Bar Darkja. So we'll do that to fill Kaito's LB. I think he was a little bit short. Yeah, he would have been a little bit short, so we need a triple. You got to just use your judgment on that. And let's see, Ibarra. Now Ibarra on this turn is just going to double bulking. Actually, let's see, 1 second. Actually, Ibarra is going to double bolting and then Magnus. Let's see. This. So we do this. Wait. Do this. And we're going to kill next turn, actually. Which is fine. Okay. So some attacks right here. No big deal. Gravity damage. Apparently we didn't seal the boss with light element. What? Oh my god, we didn't use light, did we? You know, I'm going to change my turn chart. It doesn't really matter that much, honestly. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and SLB Chow. Yeah, we're going to keep going, but I'm going to change my turn chart. So we need to do a light element. Yeah, I'm putting up a turn chart. There we go. Or use Absolute Mirror of Equity to seal. So it doesn't really matter that we're going to just finish the boss here. Yeah, so we're going to keep going. We didn't seal the boss. That's what happens when you don't seal the boss. So we're going to Arcane Supplementation. We're going to Wardiga. We're going to Ocean and Fluffy. And let's see. Alright, so if we needed LB gauge, we could, but we're good. So we're going to go ahead and just do... We're going to do cover. We're going to do Absolute Mirror of Equity. And if we needed it, we could Bar for Raja. But we're fine. There we go. So we're going to LBU, and Kaito isn't quite ready, which is fine. We'll go ahead and Downpour, Natural. Oh, wrong form. He died. Downpour, Natural, and Deadly. Okay, and we go ahead and finish off the boss. There it is. And if we don't finish off the boss, by the way, we would burst next turn. Next turn, we would use triple Bar for Raja on Abigail, and then triple bar Darkja on Melissa, and use LB on all 4 of the rest of the party members. And that would handle it for you. Okay, so there we go. I'm currently adjusting my turn. Yeah, I completely forgot we didn't seal the boss on turn 9. Kind of a headache. But still perfect score, whatever. So there you go. Even with missteps, it's still fine. So there it is. There is our clear. So we didn't get the burst on turn 11 for Chow, so less damage there. But handled. Alright. And still don't have my ticket. And later on, I'll show you a rank 1 using the cheese with Ayabrea. But here's the team. So Melissa is passive provoke with some bulk and some dark and water resist. Honestly, you don't really need that much, but there we go. Abigail is using high water and dark resist, but not quite immunity on the dark. That's with the 70 from Melissa. And there we go. There's the setup. Let's see. Ibarra, both forms, is right here. Just LB damage. Also some LB fill with like high class dagger, etc. Kaito in the base form is just LB fill. Shift form is LB damage versus the racial combo. There it is. And then Nora is LB damage versus the combo. There it is. She's nice because she does AoE Beast Killer as well as modifier buff. And then Chow is right here. He is maxed on everything. A little bit of LB fill. And there it is. Turn chart will be in the comments. Hope it helps. See you in a bit.